I had been concerned about the darkened sanitary pad Lisa used. One day, I got a call from Tom. Lisa had collapsed while staying over. Rushing Lisa to the hospital, she was diagnosed with possible cancer. Shocked, I informed Tom on my way back, then visited Lisa's tutoring school for a meeting. Leaving the meeting, I spotted Tom in front of the building where the tutoring school was located. Tom was talking on his phone with someone. "Just now, my daughter collapsed. Taking care of her is a hassle, so maybe I should just give up on taking her back. She was just right as a maid." He laughed out loud and continued. "Yeah, if it's not cancer, I plan to sell her as intended. I'll make her work and use her salary to pay off my debts. As a child, she ought to be useful to her parents." Horrified by such cruel words, I was dumbfounded. In my heart, I muttered, "You haven't grown in these 10 years, but I have changed. I'll do anything to protect Lisa. Be prepared. I am Hannah, a 45-year-old single mother. I divorced Tom 10 years ago and have been living with my daughter, Lisa. Since the divorce, I've always lived a life with little time and money to spare." Then, one day, Tom appeared out of nowhere in front of us. After disappearing for 10 years, what does he want now? I was furious. Unaware of my feelings, Tom brought us a proposal. I can hardly ever attend school events during weekdays. How many times have I apologized to Lisa? Each time, I'm overwhelmed with frustration. Using my paid leave for school events means I can't take days off when Lisa gets sick. So, I always end up making Lisa bear with it. I wanted to work reduced hours when Lisa was younger. If only her father worked full-time, I could attend school events without hesitation. Lisa understands, so lately she doesn't even ask if I can come, just leaves the event notices on the dining table. Working from morning to night, I hardly have time to talk with Lisa on weekdays, and the days pass in a blur. With my parents living far away, it's hard to rely on them. I want Lisa to go to college and give her a normal life. With that single goal, I've worked tirelessly. Lately, Lisa's cold attitude, as she enters her teenage years, troubles me. Every morning, I rush to make breakfast, leaving the dishes for Lisa to clean up before I head to work. The only time we can talk is at night, but Lisa responds curtly and quickly retreats to her room upstairs. Recently, she started tutoring with friends, making it even harder to talk. Even on weekends, if she doesn't go out with friends, she stays in her room. When I knock on her door wanting to talk, I get a grumpy response. "What? Let's watch TV together. Your favorite actor is on. I'll watch it online later, thanks." The next day I'm watching a video, I'm on the phone with a friend. Go away. At mealtimes, we do face each other, but Lisa responds indifferently to my attempts at conversation, quickly finishes washing up, and returns to her room. Living under the same roof, we barely talk or meet eyes, it's like living in separate houses. Just a few years ago, she would greet me with a smile, calling out Mom. It feels like a lie now. Watching a variety show alone, I feel unbearably empty. One evening over the weekend, as I was struggling with these feelings, the doorbell rang. I was shocked when I looked at the screen. It was Tom, who had disappeared for the past 10 years. As I stood frozen, Lisa came up beside me with a puzzled look and checked the intercom, tilting her head. "Dad? Is that Lisa's voice?" "Yes, it's your dad." His cheerful tone infuriated me. I snapped at him. "What do you want now, after all this time? What's wrong with coming to see my daughter? After ignoring us for 10 years. "Sorry about that. I wanted to see you too after being in the area for work." Leaving him standing at the front door would look bad to the neighbors. Reluctantly, I let him into the house. "Lisa, I've missed you." Tom was ecstatic, as if he was about to hug Lisa. Despite it being 10 years, he still looked great, just like an actor. I was fooled by that appearance and his innocent smile when I was younger. Thinking about how he's lived without hardship makes me sick. On the other hand, Lisa greeted Tom with an awkward smile. "Nice to meet you." "I mean, hi, Dad. What's with the formality?" "But, Lisa, you've grown into such a beauty," he said, looking her over with a smirk. "Tall and well-figured." "I often get told I look mature for my age," Lisa said with a bashful smile. While I was making coffee, Tom kept talking to Lisa. Lisa, choosing her words carefully, answered Tom's questions. "Do you remember anything about your dad, Lisa?" Not really. Just what Mom told me in pictures. All right. I felt uneasy. It's been a long time since I've seen Lisa smile. Lately, she's always looked sullen or sad. I came here today for an important talk, Tom said, setting down his teacup with a serious look. Lisa glanced at me sitting beside her. Should I leave? No, it's about you, Tom said, looking directly at Lisa. Lisa, would you like to live with me? I nearly spit out my tea. Lisa looked stunned. What? You're going to high school next year, right? Are the schools you're considering in town? Yeah. East High and West High. Then you could commute from my condo. No problem there. Wait a minute, I interrupted, flustered. After all this time ignoring us, what's this all about? You can't just show up and make demands. It's selfish. Then Tom, crossing his arms and speaking in a somber tone, said, Well, I've come to feel the loneliness of being single at this age. But since Hannah wouldn't want to get back together, I at least wanted to live with Lisa. I couldn't help but yell at Tom, scratching his head and grinning. Don't joke about this. Absolutely not. Just go home. As I tried to pull him up from the chair, Lisa casually said, I don't mind living with him. What? Really? Tom's face lit up. Yeah. But it's too sudden to decide now. I'd like to go out together first, maybe stay over, and then decide, okay? Of course. You can come over to my condo after your graduation ceremony. I felt anxious. I had only told Lisa that our divorce was due to irreconcilable differences. Even if Tom and I were divorced, he and Lisa are still parent and child. I didn't want to instill a bad image of her father in Lisa, who is still a child. The sudden appearance and proposal to live together was a bolt from the blue. I don't like this idea, I almost shouted at Tom. Lisa is at a delicate stage. She's about to take exams, and changing her environment now would be absolutely wrong. Lisa looked at me, puzzled. Then Tom gave a wry smile. Hannah, it's not like you're saying goodbye to Lisa forever. If living together doesn't work out, she can always come back here. That's right, Mom. You're thinking too much into it. They both laughed, and I pursed my lips. I knew that. But still, I'm worried about Lisa. Oblivious to my concern, Tom cheerfully suggested. So, let's go out tomorrow. Where do you usually go with Mom? Or maybe you hang out with friends? Lisa smiled awkwardly. I don't think I've ever been to places like that. My heart ached. The only places I had taken little Lisa were shopping malls and children's play parks. They were close by and convenient for shopping on the way home, making it in time for dinner at home. Above all, they were free or very cheap for letting her have all the fun she wanted. Watching animated movies while eating popcorn, having lunch at the food court, and celebrating Lisa's birthday with delivered pizza were luxury moments for us. Though we've recently had a bit more financial leeway, until not long ago, buying even a single piece of clothing for Lisa meant agonizing over it while staring down the household budget on the computer. A smirk appeared on Tom's face. And he exaggeratedly lamented. What? Seriously? If I were her dad, I could take her anywhere she wanted to go. Really? Yes. Where do you want to go tomorrow? Lisa peered into a theme park website opened on Tom's phone. Seeing Lisa excited made me feel lonely. Lately, even if I asked, she'd refuse, saying she had plans with friends, but with Tom, she was happy to go. From then on, excluding test weeks, Tom invited Lisa to various places on weekends, gradually closing the distance between them. He took her to an aquarium, watched fireworks together, excitedly went to movies, and even visited trendy dessert buffets. Truth be told, it was a relief to see Lisa's bright smile again after so long, often appearing gloomy lately. Especially because Lisa, suffering from severe menstrual cramps, endured pain and lethargy, spending almost a week in bed each month, despite taking over-the-counter painkillers. Having experienced it myself, I understood the difficulty. We informed the school and arranged makeup classes to cover for her absences. One day, when I opened the sanitary box because I got my period, I noticed Lisa's used pads were discolored. Worried, I suggested we see a doctor. Should we have a doctor check you out? It must be hard every month. No way! I'm scared to go to the doctor. Understanding her feelings, I decided to take her when I could get time off. If Lisa could have fun, I would be happy. If Tom was serious about caring for Lisa, maybe it was okay to let her stay with him. I worked harder than ever, taking on weekend shifts I had previously declined, leaving Lisa with Tom. Immersing myself in work, I hoped to ease the loneliness of Lisa moving away. The two, having grown closer, moved on to the next step. Lisa was to spend a night at Tom's condo. I asked for the address to be ready for emergencies, drove to check the route. Relieved it was only about 20 minutes away. When Lisa's period was imminent, I suggested delaying, but she insisted it was okay. Delaying it would push it into the test period. I just want to get it over with. I secretly checked the used pads again, noticing the discoloration. Though worried, I ensured she ate well, rich in iron, and gave her iron supplements. Assuring myself she'd contact me if anything happened, I sent her off. The next afternoon, Tom called. "What's happened?"
"Lisa's collapsed."
I was speechless.
"She says it's just anemia, but she's pale as a ghost. This is bad, what do we do?"
Tom sounded unusually panicked. As I grabbed my wallet while on the phone, I instructed.
"Take her to the hospital immediately. I'm on my way. It's probably closed. There's an emergency room, you know. I've never been to one."
I was infuriated.
"I'll take her. Just watch over Lisa."
That's right, he's always been like this. Struggling to calm my rushing emotions, I drove to the condo as fast as I could. Ignoring Tom, who was just standing there dazed, I helped Lisa up and supported her to the car. At the city hospital's emergency room, I explained her symptoms and waited until Lisa was called. Sitting on the waiting room sofa, I suddenly heard doctors and nurses shouting. Eventually, Lisa came out in a wheelchair, pushed by a nurse.
"I'll accompany her to the restroom."
"Yes, please." My heart was in turmoil when the doctor called me over. Sitting down, the young doctor solemnly began.
"Please, stay calm as you listen.
Yes.
There's a suspicion that Lisa might have uterine cancer."
I felt dizzy, as if I might collapse from my chair.
"It's just a suspicion for now. We'd like to conduct more detailed examinations, so please stay for hospitalization starting today."
Okay. After that, Lisa went to her room with the returning nurse. I went home to prepare for her hospital stay and then headed to her room. It seemed Lisa had only been told she might have a disease of the uterus.
"I'm sorry. I should have taken you to the hospital sooner. It's my fault for refusing. You did nothing wrong."
She defended me, then timidly asked,
"Will you come again?" "Of course. I'll come every day."
"But you're busy with work, right?"
"I'll leave work on time while you're hospitalized."
"Really?" Lisa couldn't hide her happiness. I realized just how lonely she must have been all this time, and my heart ached. Fighting back tears, I left the room. I couldn't leave without saying a piece of my mind. Returning to the condo, I found Tom laughing at a video on his phone. Rage boiled inside me.
"How can you be so carefree?"
When I confronted him, Tom turned around, munching on chips. "Hey, welcome back. How did it go?"
"She might have uterine cancer."
"Whoa, really? That's bad." After a pause, Tom said,
"Maybe we should call off the living together thing." "Of course. I can't trust you with this."
"It's gonna be thoroughly checked, right? Hope it's something lighter. Let me know the results." Tom went back to watching his video, as if it was someone else's problem. Despite being her father, he seemed indifferent. Filled with indignation, I drove back home. Driving in frustration, I remembered today was the meeting day at Lisa's tutoring school. I changed direction and headed towards the station. After the meeting, as I was leaving the building to go to the parking lot, I saw a familiar figure. Tom, who I had just parted ways with, was smoking a cigarette in front of a store on the first floor of the building, talking on the phone. Hiding behind the building's wall, I eavesdropped on the conversation.
"Just now, my daughter collapsed. Taking care of her is a hassle, so maybe I should just give up on taking her back. She was just right as a maid."
He laughed and continued.
"Yeah, if it's not cancer, I plan to sell her as intended. I'll make her work and use her salary to pay off my debts. As a child, she ought to be useful to her parents."
Unaware of my shaking anger, Tom got into the car with a middle-aged woman who appeared from the building and drove off. I stood frozen in place for a while. Could he really be her father, knowing she might be seriously ill? Fury clouded my thoughts. I clenched my jaw and muttered in my heart. You haven't grown in these 10 years, but I have changed. I'll do anything to protect Lisa. Be prepared. 2 weeks later. I told Tom we were celebrating Lisa's recovery, and he showed up without any suspicion. Bringing Lisa's favorite sweets and a bouquet of flowers, his ease with women chilling me.
Man, it's good Lisa's illness was something minor. What was it? Something with the uterus?
Endometriosis.
For now, she'll take medication and watch it. If it recurs, we might consider surgery, the doctor said.
So, it's not cancer?
She can work normally then? Yeah, I'm all better now.
Seeing Lisa's innocent smile, Tom also chuckled.
I really wanted to live together as originally planned, but I gave up because I knew your mom would worry about you.
I clenched my fists tight. How he could lie so calmly was beyond me. While serving pizza to Tom, Lisa brought up the subject.
Hey, Dad, I actually want to live with you.
She spoke in a coaxing tone.
I want to work part-time once I start high school. Your condo is near a big station, right? Close to the downtown area, which is nice. You know, working at a nightclub is popular among college students right now, right? I want to try that too.
Lisa, no. You can't work in those places until you're 18, right, Tom? Tom forced a smile.
Well, if she wants to, maybe it's okay to let her do what she wants.
Tom said, grinning.
Lisa's beautiful and looks mature, so she could definitely become popular if she worked at a nightclub. Maybe even more profitable places.
Don't talk nonsense.
I raised my voice. Listen, Lisa. You can't work in places that serve alcohol.
I said this deliberately, making it clear to Tom as well.
It's common sense, Tom. You can't say you didn't know.
Oh, right? Tom looked uncomfortable. As long as his debts were paid, he didn't care if it was illegal. He'd just find a way to wriggle out of it when the time came. He had intended it all along. Then Lisa pulled out a business card from her pocket. It had the name and contact of a well-known nationwide adult entertainment business, along with the branch manager's name. Tom's eyes widened as Lisa cheerfully said,
I found this at your place. Having this means you know the person, right?
Well,
did you plan to make me work there?
Tom was caught off guard.
Oh, got you, right? Talking about how it's a hassle to take care of your collapsed daughter, how you only wanted to take me in as a maid.
Where did you hear that? Tom looked shaken.
At the store near the station, you were on the phone. Saying if it's not cancer, you'd sell me. Make me work and use my salary to pay off your debts.
I glared at Tom and rebuked him fiercely.
Parents are supposed to be useful? You haven't done a single fatherly thing, and you dare say that. You're the lowest of the low.
Overcome with emotion, I argued back with tears in my eyes.
I should have been more suspicious about your sudden wish to live with Lisa. I was foolish to hope you had grown in these 10 years. Mom, what was the reason you and Dad divorced?
Hey, let's not talk about that here. Tom showed his irritation. Ignoring Tom, I turned to Lisa.
I was going to tell you when you were older, but all right, I'll tell you.
I counted off on my fingers, recounting the memories.
Your dad quit his job suddenly when you were in my belly. Promised to find a new one but ended up going to the casino every day. And I was working full-time during my pregnancy. That must have been tough, Mom.
Lisa said sympathetically.
Even after I returned to work, he didn't look for work or do any housework, and gambled away my salary on drinks and gambling. That's when I handed him the divorce papers after we fell behind on our condo rent.
Did I? Don't remember that. Tom scratched his head as if it was someone else's problem.
Plus, the child support agreed upon during our divorce only came through for 2 months. Then, I couldn't get in touch with your dad anymore.
I sighed.
I gave up making things, only to be repaid with betrayal.
What do I care now? Tom muttered dismissively. Then turned to Lisa with a forced smile, speaking in a gentle tone.
Lisa, who do you believe, your mom or your dad?
Huh?
It's true I thought it'd help if Lisa did some chores around the house. But the idea of selling her to a nightclub is outrageous. You're misunderstanding something, Mom.
Lisa furrowed her brow. Wait a second. Smiling, she took out her cell phone and made a call. Thank you for waiting. The door is open, so please come in. Wondering who it could be, I went to the entrance and gasped when I opened the door. Susie? She's the mother of Lisa's friend, Sally. And also a single mother. Sally, who had joined the tutoring class before Lisa, had invited her, and that's how Lisa started attending. I never thought she'd know Tom.
Hi. Lisa, Hannah, it's been a while.
Susie said with a gentle smile, in contrast to Tom, who looked startled. Susie? Why are you here?
Dad, you're dating Sally's mom, right? Aren't you happy to see the person you love?
Lisa's remark left Tom with a sullen look, unwilling to break his scowl.
You didn't have to call her at a time like this.
Tom watched displeasedly as Lisa and I welcomed Susie into the room. After offering Susie some tea at the dining table, Lisa cheerfully spoke.
Sally told me you're considering remarrying Tom, with the idea of helping him with his business. Mom has been lending him startup funds because he kept asking. Sally was worried. Did you lend him money, Susie?
My tone might have sounded accusing.
Your father is a company president, right? Did you know that, Dad? Oh, yeah.
Tom squirmed uncomfortably.
Wow, so you managed to start a business. A rich girl makes a great cash cow, huh?
Tom glared at me with a fierce look but soon spread a soft smile.
Come on, Hannah. I've learned a lot in these 10 years. I wanted to turn my life around. It was while networking that I met Susie.
My apologies then.
Why was I called here?
Susie asked timidly, to which Lisa presented the membership card of the adult entertainment venue. Tom quickly snatched it, but Susie had already seen it.
That just now was Dad's girlfriend's workplace.
Oh, my mistake.
Dad, you were planning to sell me there.
I was shocked by the revelation.
Lisa, bringing that up so suddenly.
This is him. Pretty, isn't he? Lisa then showed photos from Tom's phone of him with various women.
This one's from our movie date. This one's from the aquarium, theme park, dessert buffet, and outlet mall visits.
All beauties.
Mom thinks so too, right?
Well, yes. As I struggled to respond, Susie's eyes were blazing with anger. Don't pull out stuff like that. You're an undisciplined brat, Tom muttered in a low voice. Lisa unabashedly responded.
What you're doing is far worse, Dad. Using me as bait to date different women each time. I heard all your complaints about how tiring it is to babysit.
Then, Lisa laid out another card on the table.
My credit card? You used it without permission?
My eyes widened. It was the card I used for paying rent and utilities. I hadn't noticed unauthorized use because the bills were being paid as usual. I hadn't changed the PIN from the old one.
Dad bought a designer bag with it. I've already stopped its use, so don't worry.
Lisa returned the card to me and then looked Tom in the eye, asking.
By the way, Dad, are you working? Must be unemployed. Using the money borrowed from Susie and his debts to splurge on women. Stop it! I was just having fun with some women. Susie, don't believe what they say.
Tom's defensive tone faltered as Susie stood up. Her gaze stern.
I've been patient, not seeing you because you said you were busy with work, and just kept supporting you financially. To think you were cheating with multiple women. Just as Hannah said, I was nothing but a cash cow to you. Unforgivable. I said, it was just for fun. They were part of my job, just accompanying me for meals and shopping. You wouldn't understand the real world, being a rich girl and all.
Trying to smooth things over, Lisa then scattered receipts like rain from above.
Dad, is visiting various hotels your hobby? You used Susie's money for this, huh? Wow, there are suites in famous hotels here. Quite extravagant. Damn, you stole these from my room? What a little thief!
I clapped back at Tom's cursing.
Tom, you've really outdone yourself. 10 years ago, you quit your job while your wife was pregnant to indulge in gambling, made her work after giving birth to cover your debts, and then dodged child support. And now, you've conned money from your daughter's friend's parents, planned to sell your daughter to a nightclub, and used your ex-wife's card for shopping. You never fail to meet expectations, truly.
Susie's face turned into one of pure fury.
Susie, don't listen to them. They're a pair of liars.
Those cell phone pictures must have been doctored. You should only trust me. Tom insisted on his innocence, but Susie gave him an icy stare. I can't trust someone who speaks ill of his own daughter, let alone his ex-wife. Stunned by Susie's rebuff, Tom was at a loss for words. I won't be seeing you anymore. I'll have my lawyer contact you tomorrow to demand the money I lent you back. Huh? Look, suddenly demanding $20,000 is impossible. Susie brushed off Tom's desperate attempt to hold her back and stormed out, anger in her step. Damn, there goes my cash cow. Tom muttered bitterly, then turned his bloodshot eyes on me. You're gonna pay for this. I don't know anything about that. Were you even serious about marrying Susie, or is it going to be a case of marriage fraud? Tom sneered, ignoring my words. Right, not just Lisa, Hannah can work too. That way, I can pay off my debts quickly and go back to enjoying myself with women. It's only natural for families to help each other out in times of need, right? You two work for my sake. Dad, we've long cut ties with you. Ignoring Lisa's dismay, Tom pulled out his phone. Manager, let's proceed with that plan I mentioned. Including my ex-wife. Huh? You're canceling? Why? While Tom argued over the phone, the doorbell rang. Detectives? Police? Lisa opened the door to let in two men in suits. The arriving detective showed Tom his badge and asked formally. Are you Tom? We've received a report from the nightclub manager about suspicions of child abuse and fraud. We need you to come with us, please. Huh? Tom turned pale as a ghost. I haven't done anything. Are you sure you've got the right person? Tom's shaky voice and evasive eyes made him look all the more suspicious. Attempting to falsify your underage daughter's age to employ her at the establishment. Despite her refusals, you insisted. We had to report it after being troubled by your persistence. Those meddlers. Tom's protest was cut short as he realized resistance was futile against the imposing detectives. He was quietly led away to the patrol car. The investigation revealed that Tom had conned multiple women besides Susie. He had promised business ventures and hinted at marriage to extort money and goods. In reality, he was unemployed, sustaining himself through gambling. The debts he accumulated were paid off with the swindled money, and the remainder was squandered on girls. After receiving a prison sentence, Tom repaid the money to both me and Susie upon release. Child support and the credit card expenses to me, and the falsely claimed business loan to Susie. Along with damages for marriage fraud. Both Susie and I had warned him, if you run, we'll sue, so he probably compiled out of fear. Attempting to borrow money from friends and in-laws after the incident, Tom found himself shunned by all, now aware of his deeds. Burdened with a significant debt, he could no longer borrow money, so our repayments were arranged in installments. If payments lapsed, we had arranged to seize his bank account. Tom, working earnestly for the first time in decades, found that almost nothing remained after repaying me and Susie. Recently, he quit gambling and clubbing, spending his time in a dimly lit apartment when not at work. After the police car with Tom drove off, we resumed Lisa's welcome home celebration, which had been interrupted. I served Lisa's favorite omelet and added fruit for dessert. Sitting across from Lisa, I took a moment to reflect. I was worried about what I'd do if Lisa ended up with Tom. After Lisa's eyes widened, she said in a gruff tone, trying to mask her embarrassment. I don't need to hear why you divorced to know what kind of person he is just by spending time with him. Yeah, that's true. When it was just the two of us again, Lisa reverted to her terse way of speaking. I felt a bit sad, thinking our interaction might decrease again after having fun teaming up against Tom. I just wanted to see what going out with Dad would be like. I never intended to live with him from the start. Really? Of course. My family is just you, Mom. Tears nearly came to my eyes as Lisa said this with her lips pursed. That's right, yeah. Lisa didn't respond but started eating her omelet rice. How is it? Good. I always say it. Mom's omelet is better than any restaurant's. Can I have seconds? Watching Lisa eagerly ask for more made me smile naturally. Lisa will eventually stand on her own one day. Until then, I want to cherish the happiness of being together and enjoy our time as a family. That's what I felt.